Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my dark knights and football fans around the world. How you beautiful people doing? Welcome to my Week 2 NFL preview for the NFL season. And I'm going to give you some fantasy football advice as well on guys that I like this week, guys that I would start, guys that I would not start, stuff like that. But I really enjoy doing these videos. I really do enjoy just sitting back, relaxing, and covering sports. That's one of my main things that I really love to do. And really would love to do a podcast just talking about different things in the future. Uh, Definitely sports, fantasy related, stuff like that. And some nerd stuff as well. I'm definitely into some of that stuff as well. But let's get into the weekly matchups here and who I'm going to pick. I did not get to pick the Bengals Browns winner in that game, so I'm not going to worry about that. We're just going to start with the Giants and the Bears. They play, the Bears are the home. Or at the home, I mean, it doesn't matter, no fans, but they play the Giants, who got absolutely decimated when it comes to running the ball against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, and I think they're gonna have a little bit more success when it comes to running the ball. In this game, Saquon will. But I think the Bears come out on top and they start 2-0. The Giants defense cannot stop the offense, and I think Mitchell is going to repeat what he did last week in the fourth quarter and repeat it again in this game. I have the Bears winning. I'm going to say 21-17. It's not going to be a high scoring affair. Um, Giants are not going to be an easy team. Obviously, no team in the NFL is, unless your name is unless your name is the Cleveland Browns or other teams like that. But they still won Thursday, so I'm going to go with the Bears. Now, guys who I would start in this matchup, obviously Allen Robinson. Saquon, I will start him. Just I'm kind of shaky with if he has that same stat line he had against Steelers again. I may think about benching him, trading him. Um, it just will not look good. But other than that, like David Montgomery, I probably will start him because they gave over 120 yards to Benny Snell last week in Week 1. So I, granted, the Bears' offensive line is not the same as the Steelers' offensive line, but I think they'll have a good day regardless running the ball. But moving on to the Rams, who are 1-0. Surprisingly, they should be 0-1, but Jalen Ramsey decided to flop, and they got the call from the refs. And the Eagles, who were a big surprise at 0-1 at the moment, getting dominated by the Washington Redskins. I think the Rams are going to win this game. I don't see a world where the Eagles are going to have a good season this year. I mean, they have a schedule coming up here soon where they play the Niners, Steelers, Ravens back to back to back, and then the Cowboys, I believe, right before or right after those. So they have it really tough. And the Rams, offensively, they looked really good, passing wise. Sorry about that. Had to pause really quick to blow my nose, but we're good. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's fall, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed fall. Now, when it comes to guys I'm starting in this matchup, Cooper Kupp was disappointing in Week 1, but I think he's going to bounce back. I think that whole offense will bounce back. Now, Obviously, Robert Woods, you're starting him. The only bad part is Robert. Okay. The only bad part is Robert Woods does not catch touchdowns. But PPR wise, especially if you're in a full form PPR like I am, he's very, very good. I love Bobby Woods. He's one of my favorite receivers to have. He is on all my teams. And just as he doesn't score touchdowns a lot, but you can guarantee he's going to give you 10, 12 points as a floor. That's his floor. That's how good of a player that Robert Woods is. Now, on the Eagles side, Miles Sanders supposedly will be back in this game. I'm not starting him. Their run game looked terrible against Washington without Miles Sanders. I don't think it's going to be too much better with him, to be completely honest with you. What the heck? There's something on me. Awesome. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now, the Eagles side, there is one guy that I will start on the Eagles side, and that is Dallas Goedert, or Zach Ertz, or both. I'm strongly siding towards more Dallas Goedert because, listen, the guy had 10 targets and he caught 8 of them for 101 yards, and there are some issues right now in Eagles camp with Zach Ertz. He's asking for a new contract. It's not looking good between them and Zach Ertz. So just pay attention, look and see what's going on, and don't, all because his name is Zach Ertz, fall into this thing of, oh, he's Zach Ertz, I have to start him. No, no, no. Dallas Goedert is... I think this year we finally see the Dallas Goedert breakout. I really, really do. I have great confidence in the man. And if he puts up a great stat line again in this game, sky's the limit for the guy. Next, moving on to the Broncos Steelers. Oh, and by the way, the guy, I already said who was winning that game. This is a no-brainer for me. Steelers are going to win this game. They're going to dominate the Broncos. I didn't give a score for the Rams-Eagles. I think the Rams win 28-14. And Steelers, I think the Steelers are going to win 24-7. I really do think that. I think the Steelers are going to dominate them, especially defensively. Their defense looked amazing. Their defense looked like they're top 2, top 3 defenses in the league, and they look like the best defense they've had in a long time. So they are going to dominate Drew Lock 100%. They had trouble with the Titans last week. If you had trouble with the Titans, what do you think you're going to do against the Steelers? Now, and no Philip Lindsay. Melvin Gordon's going to run against them. I pity Melvin Gordon this week. I'm not starting any of their running backs. I do have Noah Fant. I think Noah Fant will get targets in garbage time, stuff like that, and the receivers, because they're going to try and come back. They're going to have to pass often. Now, when it comes to the Steelers, I am shying away from the running backs just because I know Benny Snell had a good game. But James Conner, supposedly from the reports, is healthy. He is playing in this game. How long he's going to be healthy for, that I don't know. But I'm not starting either one yet. They need to prove to me that they need, like I can't trust that. It's just like with the Patriots backfield. I can't trust their backfield unless, like, their name is James White. So, Big Ben, you're starting Big Ben. Juju, you're starting Juju. A guy who I would start who's a sneaky guy. He had 10 targets, granted he only caught like 3 or 4 of them, is Deontay Johnson. Now, in my leagues, I have Robert Woods. I'm having an issue right now whether to start Terry McLaurin, DJ Chark, Will Fuller, or Deontay Johnson. I'm so up in the air with those 4. They're so good. And if you guys can help me out on that, I'd greatly appreciate that, because what you guys' thoughts on that, because I'm a little up in the air on that. But, yeah, this is basically who I would start, but that's just me. Now, moving on to the 49ers and Jets, no George Kittle in this game. He is declared out already. It it's gonna be bad because. And on the Jets side, no Jamison Crowder, no Le'Veon Bell. Frank Gore, the all-knowing Frank Gore, is going to. I think he's going to have a decent game against the Niners because he understands the Niners. He wants to do good because it's his old team, and most players that do face their old team, they do pretty good against them. I can see Frank Gore at least getting a touchdown in this game. I don't think he's going to get anything else. Chris Herndon is also a guy. He's going to get several targets because there's no one else in the offense. Denzel Mims is out. Brashad Perriman is the only other receiver in that offense right now. And Chris Hogan. Who else is going to get targets on that team? No one. Chris Herndon is a guy who I would start if you did not get one of the top 3 tight ends. Now moving on to, or you're a Kittle owner and you need a tight end for a week or two. Chris Herndon is your guy. Moving on to the 49ers. 49ers are going to dominate this game. They're going to win handily. They're going to win by 2 scores. They're going to win 24-14. I strongly do think that. And Raheem Mostert is a definite play. All their running backs, I think, will have some work. Now, the receiver who I think is a look. You don't start him, but look at him. He has a season debut today. Or not today, tomorrow. Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State. The rookie from Arizona State. He's getting his first start and debut. He could not start week 1, but he's starting this week, and I think we're going to see a little bit of a breakout from him. Just as a thought for a waiver wire for week 3, I believe. But moving on to the game of the week, and in my eyes, the start of the week where you can just start everybody and just throw them in there. Start as many of the guys in this matchup. Falcons, Cowboys. This game's going to be a shootout. This is going to possibly be a 48. I think this game is going to end in a 48-44 ending. I think this is going to be a really good game. I can see this game getting up to the 40s. But I think the Cowboys are going to bounce back against the Falcons in a 38-35 victory. I believe you're starting everybody in this game, first of all. You're starting Julio. You're starting Calvin Ridley. I would even start Russell Gage in deeper leagues. Todd Gurley, Zeke, you're starting them. The only guy I'm not starting on the Cowboys offense is Dalton Schultz. Michael Crabtree. Dear Lord, Michael Crabtree. Michael Gallup. Amari Cooper, and even CeeDee Lamb. I'd start all 3. I'm so excited because I have Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan had over 400 yards passing and 3 or 4 scores in week 1. If he does that again this week, I am looking great. I am just so excited for what Matt Ryan and Julio are going to do for me in my league. So I'm just very excited about that. But yeah, I do think the Cowboys will bounce back from that. Falcons defense is just not good enough to stop anybody. I think the Cowboys are just going to dominate. And so are the Falcons. I think both the defenses could not... the Cowboys could not stop the Rams offense, but they stopped them near the end of the end zone when they needed to. So I do believe that this game will be very high scoring. Then moving on to my start of the week in Jonathan Taylor in the Indianapolis Colts against the Minnesota Vikings. I'm sorry, Marlon Mack. He's a great player, out for the year with Achilles. But the guy who picks up the opportunity, and a great opportunity, and possibly is going to be a lead back and a league-winning back, is Colts rookie running back, Jonathan Taylor. And in this matchup, we could see breakout big time. Because we play the Vikings, who Aaron Rodgers absolutely torched. And even after he torched him, Aaron Jones had a really good game running the ball. They put up 42 points on him. And I think this Vikings defense is not as great as it is. There's a lot of young guys that don't understand this defense yet. They're going to suffer. The Colts are, and Philip Rivers is going to exploit that 100% with his dump offs to his running backs, Naheem Hines and Jonathan Taylor. I'd start both in this matchup, along with Paris Campbell and T.Y. Hilton. Uh, I would lean more towards Ty starting over Paris, but no. So sorry about that. Moving back to the Vikings side, really, Adam Thielen, I would think about starting him. Just garbage. Him and Dalvin Cook, pretty much it. I really do think that this is a game where the Vikings will be behind. They're going to pass the ball a lot. Dalvin Cook will get his targets, will get his runs. He's pretty much matchup proof. But he's like Derrick Henry. Both of them are pretty much matchup proof. So, but I think the Colts are going to win this game, 31-24. I do believe that, and the Vikings are going to have a serious talk with their players after this game. I 100% believe that, and I think they will bounce back because these no preseason. There's a lot of new players on this defense. They don't understand their defense yet, and it's going to take some time to understand. So, moving on to the Bills and the Dolphins. The best team from last week in my mind in the Bills, looking really, really good. I mean, then again, they did face the Jets. They play the Dolphins this week. And that's going to be another victory for them. They are going to win this by 2 scores. I believe 28-14 is going to be the final. You're starting none of the running backs in this matchup, neither on either side. I would look at Myles Gaskin. Just look like if he does perform decently like he did last week, he's a guy that I would look at waiver wires week 3. Ryan Fitzpatrick, you're not starting him. It's definitely against the Bills defense. Josh Stallion. I don't know. I don't have sound effects for that, so if I would, I would do them. But he's a guy I would start definitely against the Dolphins. But it's just if you have a better option at quarterback this week, I would use him just because that Dolphins secondary. They did waste several picks on or not a lot of money on corners, and they do have 2 of the top 10 corners in our league, and Byron Jones and Xavier Howard on there. But I think running the ball is what Josh Allen is going to get done in this game because really there is no other running backs in that system that can consistently run that ball that well. I'm sorry, that's the truth. Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, they need to show me that they can actually run the ball consistently well. Other than that, like, I would not start, like, any of the receivers in this matchup, but I would start Josh Allen. Now, moving on to the Lions and the Packers, Matthew Stafford is going to be without Kenny Golladay again. This is a smash win for the Packers. I truly believe that. But I'm going to go against the grain. Actually, no, I'm not. No, not on this game. The Packers are going to win. I think it's going to be a little closer because every time the Lions and the Packers get together, it is pretty close. I'm going to say 24-21 off of a Mason Crosby late field goal. The Lions, you're not... Maybe Adrian Peterson in this matchup. But I would not start Matthew Stafford without Kenny Golladay again. Who else really? I mean, T.J. Hawkinson, maybe. I would not start. I'm not gonna. He did this last year where he had a good week 1, and after that he just fell off the edge of the earth. So I'm not going to start him this week. I'm just going to look and see what he does. But if he does perform this week again and he's consistent, I would start him just every week going forward. But anyway, sorry about that. I think, though, in this game, on the Lions side, you're not really starting too many players. But the Packers side, you're starting pretty much everyone on this offense. Aaron Rodgers, he's a definite play. Aaron Jones, he's a definite play. Davante Adams, after week 1 with 14 catches, you're starting him every single matchup until he proves otherwise. The Lazard King, I would even think about starting him if you don't have any other options, good options in your team, and even MVS, Marquez Valdes-Scantling as well. But yeah, that's what I think in that matchup. But moving on to the Panthers and Buccaneers, both looked decent offensively. Later, I mean, Tom Brady did not look good in the game. He made some mistakes as well. He did not look like the GOAT that we know. He looked like the GOAT quarterback from last year. I think, to be honest, that's the quarterback you're going to get in Tom Brady for this season, because he is going to be up and down. One week he's going to be the old Tom Brady, the next he's not going to be. Now, with the Christian McCaffrey, you're starting him, obviously. But don't be amazed if he doesn't put up a good stat line in this game. He was very good last year. Fantasy MVP, checked off all the boxes, offensive player of the year, all that. There's one team he suffered against. That was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensively. And yeah, I think he'll have a decent game, but I would not be amazed if he has another bad stat line like he did last year facing them. Now the Panthers, Teddy Bridgewater looked decent. He shared the ball around to many people. Robbie Anderson, if he has another good game here, if he's available in your leagues, I'd pick him up waiver wire week 3. The other guy who I like in this offense as well, is DJ Moore, obviously. But I would start the wide receivers and Teddy Bridgewater. Those would be the two guys I'm interested in, really. Now, I think the Bucs are going to win this game. I think they'll bounce back. And defensively, I'm going with the Bucs defense this week just because they dominate Christian McCaffrey last year. They're saying, a lot of the experts are saying, go for the Bucs defense because Teddy did look shaky in the second half. So I do have a good feeling that the Buccaneers can't get turnovers. It'll be a lower scoring game, I believe. I believe it's going to be a 21-14 game with the Buccaneers winning. And on the Buccaneers side, the one guy, Chris Godwin's out, most likely, with the concussion protocol. I believe he would be. There is some people saying that he most likely will play. I don't think he will. If he doesn't, Scotty Miller, wide receiver for the Buccaneers, is a definite start. He had 7 catches week 1, and he's a typical Tom Brady-esque wide receiver. He loves throwing in the slot. He's a slot receiver. Other than Mike Evans, he's the one receiver I'm starting. But out of the running backs, I would start Rojo. I would start Ronald Jones, especially because they gave up 3 touchdowns last week to Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs ran all over them. I do think this Panthers defense, the one thing they're not going to be good at is stopping the run. Ronald Jones is going to exploit that. and you can start him and start him with confidence as your running back too. Now, moving on to the Jags and Titans, I think the Jags are going to win this game and upset the Titans. I really do think that. And everyone's going to be like, oh my God, no one, this is amazing. No one saw this happening. I really do feel that. Because everyone's written them off. Gardner Minshew is going to come out and ball. And he's going to have a good game again this week. DJ Chark, I'm kind of because he only had 3 targets last week, or 5 targets, and 3 catches out of those 5 targets. I'm not crazy about that. I'm contemplating benching him this week. If I have a guy like Terry McLaurin, Will Fuller, I have those guys that I'm kind of up in the air about. But it looks like I am leaning towards Terry McLaurin, just because, I know he's going to be matched up on Patrick Peterson, but I'll get to that in a bit. But the Jacksonville side, James Robinson, he's also a guy I would look at if he performs again and he is available in your league. Pick him up. Other than that, there's not really too much guys who I would look at. Laviska Shenault is also a guy if he has a good, decent game because he had a good game week 1. He's a guy I would look at. Now, there is reports that A.J. Brown most likely will not play week 2. I'm starting Derrick Henry, 100%. He is a must-start. Tannehill, he's a must-start with this Jacksonville defense. But the receivers, I'm not crazy about the receivers. The only one that I'm crazy about is Jonnu Smith, their tight end. And I have a good feeling about Jonnu. Because he's really, other than Corey Davis, but I don't trust Corey Davis. I have very bad history with trusting this man. And I think Jonnu Smith, he had a touchdown last week. I think he can replicate that again this week. And those of you that drafted him, you're going to be very, very happy. Now, score-wise, I think Jacksonville is going to win this 17-14. It's going to be a lower scoring game, like every game with Jacksonville will be. And it's a division game. They're going to be good against the division, and other than that, they're probably not going to be too much good. So, moving on to the Washington football team versus the Cardinals. Who would have saw these two these two teams being 1-0 to start the season? I know I didn't, especially when they were in 2 matchups they were not favored in at all. But Chase Young, and that front 7 looks really freaking good, okay? And the Cardinals, Kyler Murray just led them to a victory along with DeAndre Hopkins. I do believe you're going to see a lot of that this year with Kyler. But I think he'll struggle running the ball. They're going to struggle running the ball definitely against this front 7 of Washington. And I'm not trusting any of their running backs. The same thing with Washington's running backs. I love Antonio Gibson. But he did not have a good week 1. I'm going to wait and see what he provides, what he does going forward. I will not start him until he has a better games going forward, though. Wide receivers, though, Terry McLaurin, I'm kind of up in the air about starting him because Patrick Peterson is going to be on him. And they did pretty good against San Fran's wide receivers last week, granted they had none. And they barely threw to them as well. But on the Cardinals side, DeAndre Hopkins is going to have another great day and is going to dominate. Once again, I don't think he's going to have 14 catches like he did last week. But he could have around that once again and just have another great day. I really do think that. And I'm still waiting for the breakout to Dan Arnold tight end for the Cardinals. I do think the Cardinals will win this game against Washington late. It's going to be I think this is going to be another 17-14 game because their defenses are much better than what most people think. And I think Cardinals do come out on top in this game, and we have a 2-0 Cardinals team that will surprise everyone going forward. Now, moving on, we have the Ravens and the Texans. The Texans did not look good week 1, but they did look good in garbage time. And the Ravens, they looked like a Super Bowl favorite going forward. They're my Super Bowl favorite in the AFC. I do think the Ravens cover and win this game against this porous Texans defense. Lamar Jackson, you're starting him. Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins, I'm kind of shying away from because Mark Ingram looked bad. He looked slow. He did not look like Mark Ingram of old. And J.K. Dobbins, I just got to see a little more from. Now, Ravens wide receivers, you're starting Mark Andrews, you're starting Marquise Hollywood Brown, and that's pretty much it wide receiver-wise for them that I would start. Now, on the Texans side, you're starting Will Fuller, because he's the only receiver really that has production. I mean, even in that bad game against the Chiefs, he had 8 catches for 110. Granted that most of that was in garbage time, but I strongly think that he'll be all right. David Johnson will also have some work in this game as well. I strongly think that Deshaun Watson will have a decent day as well, but I think it'll come in garbage time as well. I think the Ravens are going to win this game 28-17. I'm going to say 28-17. But moving on to this next game here, who would have thought the Chargers would be 1-0? Especially how bad that they sucked against the Bengals week 1. Tyrod Taylor looked absolutely terrible. Didn't know how he couldn't move the ball in the Bengals offense, and the Browns absolutely dominated the Bengals defense. Oh, did I say the Bengals offense? He couldn't move the ball on the Bengals defense when the Bengals defense got dominated by the Browns. There, I fixed it. In Thursday Night Football. Chiefs are going to destroy this team. It's going to be a little closer, but I think yardage-wise, the Chiefs are going to win this game. It is a division game. Always, they're close in division games. Now, with the Chargers, am I starting anyone from the Chargers in this game? Pass catchers? No, because Tyrod Taylor could not get the ball to any Keenan Allen at all. Or I would start Hunter Henry. And maybe Austin Eckler, but that's it. Maybe Joseph Kelly or Joshua Kelly. Joshua Kelly did get a lot of the goal line work week 1. He did look pretty good. He had a touchdown and like 60-some yards running, so he looks like a good back. Now, on the Chiefs side, you're starting everybody from the Chiefs, obviously, unless their name is the Lizard King, Sammy Watkins, or Mecole Hardman. But you're starting Tyreek Hill, you're starting Travis Kelce, you're starting Patrick Mahomes, and you're definitely starting Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He may not have the day he had week 1 against the Chargers defense. They're better against stopping the run than you may think, but he's still going to have a decent day regardless. But moving on to the Sunday Night Football game, we got Booty Scootin' Cam Newton. Thank you for the fantasy footballers for giving me that one. I love the fact that they call him that. And the Patriots taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson dominated, and they just let him just absolutely go nuts and just finally unleash what he be Russell Wilson against Atlanta. And I think that it'll continue somewhat, but against the Patriots defense is going to be a little tougher. I think Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks win this game. The only reason why is because we saw the Patriots face the Dolphins week 1. Okay? It's the Dolphins. This is the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think that they will, because honestly, the only reason why they won is Cam Newton's running. It was Cam Newton's running, his ability to move the ball. That was the only reason why they won week one. And their receiving core, other than Julian Edelman, looked terrible. N'Keal Harry, worst bad luck you could ever have. He would have had a touchdown passing. And instead, when he reached out for the goal line, he fumbled. Such bad luck for N'Keal Harry. I have the Seahawks winning this game. I think it is going to be close. I think it's going to be like a 28-25 game. It's going to be a closer game. Seattle side, Chris Carson. You're starting Chris Carson. You're definitely going to do that, but just watch and be wary. If you have a better option with a better matchup, start that running back, because first of all, Patriots defense are pretty good. And on top of that, Seattle did not give him the ball much in week 1, and they said Carlos Hyde is going to be a major part in this offense. I don't like Carlos Hyde's... not Carlos Hyde. I do not like Chris Carson's chances week 2. Now, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, you're starting them. Greg Olsen, you're definitely starting him if you don't have a top 5 tight end in your team. Patriots side, other than Julian Edelman and Cam Newton, maybe James White, they're the only guys I would really start in this game. I'm not really crazy about anyone else. But moving on to the final game is the Saints and the Raiders in Monday night at the Death Star. I love calling it the Death Star. It looks very nice, but I can't wait to see this stadium for the Vegas Raiders. I think now Michael Thomas is hurt. He has a high ankle sprain. He's trying to play. He's trying to get out there and play, but I don't think he's going to. And without Michael Thomas really didn't do a lot in the first game, and the Saints won. But they did it with Alvin Kamara. Drew Brees did not have a lot of passing yards. He did not do a lot passing the ball. But if you want a pass catcher in this game, Jared Cook and Emmanuel Sanders are your guys. Now, I think Alvin Kamara is going to run the ball in this game. He's going to be the reason why they win this game if they do. But I have the Raiders winning this game. I have the Raiders upsetting them. I have the Raiders winning by the slimmest of margins of 24-21. And just because Josh Jacobs, I think Josh Jacobs is going to have another great game. He's going to catch the ball, and I think he is just going to show people why he deserved to be the Rookie of the Year, not the guy who did get it, Kyler Murray. And I think it's going to be because the wide receivers for the Raiders, you could maybe start Henry Ruggs if you really want to, but I wouldn't really start anyone else other than Darren Waller. That's just me. But I have the Raiders winning this game. I'm probably going to regret that, but you got to go with one upset pick, and that is my upset pick of the week. Now, but just to really specify, there really is. That's really all I have for this episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like if you guys did enjoy and want to see more of this series. And I will see you all on the next one. Stay awesome, my Dark Knights.